Traditional study methods are dying, and if you don't adapt, you'll be falling behind people who aren't trying anywhere near as hard as you, but achieving so much more because they're using AI to study smarter, not harder. So I'm here today to reveal the 3 pillars of AI that are essential if you want to leverage the tool to achieve more while doing less work. And after refining these methods over years of AI use, I've consistently outperformed those who've tried twice as hard as me. And by the end of this video, you'll be doing the same. But for now, we need to learn the basics of pillar 1, understand. Teachers are a great resource. They know the syllabus, they know the best practices, and this isn't their first rodeo. But sometimes they can be a little bit hard to access, and Googling won't always get you where you need to go. This is where AI can step in. By asking it questions about things that you don't understand, it's like having access to a teacher 24/7. Okay, so now let's open ChatGPT and type in explain the Cartesian plane to me like I'm a 10-year-old. So it's literally explaining it to me in the simplest way it can. And that prompt, explain X to me like I'm a 10-year-old, is super neat because not only do you get the answer to your question, but you kind of sidestep all that university level jargon that it will sometimes throw at you. But if you want to dial it up a bit, you could obviously change that age demographic to someone better suiting to your question. Now that's incredibly useful for quickly clearing up a question, but how do you use AI to actually make studying effortless? For that part, we look to pillar 2, creation. A big problem that I've run into when studying is that making study materials is long and hard, and it adds tons of friction and doesn't make you want to do it. The neat thing about AI is that it can do all this for you. There's this tool called TurboLearn AI. It's completely free, and all you have to do is drop in a video or audio recording and it'll automatically generate study notes for you. Great for fast-paced learning environments such as university where you don't often have time to take dedicated notes. And you can even make a podcast out of those notes. If you click on the podcast tab, you get to listen to Donald Trump yap about the structure of a neuron. For me, that makes it a whole lot more fun, and it increases the sensory inputs your brain gets as well, which has been scientifically proven to increase recall. But it goes further than that. From these notes, TurboLearn can also create study materials for you. Even if they are good and convenient, they're a little bit unidimensional, especially the quizzes. And that's where we turn to our new best friend, ChatGPT, which we can use to generate personalized questions based off your study materials, all in a single prompt. Here's how you do it. So you are a university psychology lecturer, and I'm a university student studying behavioral economics. Can you test me on the concept in the files attached? I'm looking for a mix of questions from 3 layers. Level 1, multiple choice. Level 2, short answer. And level 3, questions that ask me to apply my knowledge to a situation. Ask me individual questions and wait until I respond to reveal the answer. Then critique my response and ask the next question. Ensure that you hit on all concepts in the attached materials. Don't ask questions in order of levels, mix it up. And after I'm done typing this out, I'll just attach a script from one of my previous videos as reference material. So what this does is it basically dishes out a bunch of successive questions based off your notes in a bunch of different ways. And it'll even mark them for you and suggest where you could improve for next time. Often when we design quizzes or materials for ourselves, we'll subconsciously or even consciously focus on our strengths and avoid the things that we know we're weak at. Everyone does it, but it's not a good way to study. So this method not only ensures that we're getting a well-rounded exposure to all our knowledge base, but also that we're getting exposure to questions that force us to apply that knowledge in different ways. And that alone will get you 80% of the way. But to learn stuff to the point where you can recall it underwater, we need to look at the 3rd pillar, teaching. And that includes the technique which I use that doubled my study quality in about 1/3 of the time. Have you ever had that moment where you think you understand something, but the second you try to explain it, your brain just freezes? That's because real learning happens when you teach. The problem is we don't always have someone who's patient enough to listen to us yap on about something that they don't care about. So we'll leave that part to AI, which will act as the ear that'll help us get better grades. Here's a prompt you can use. You are a 10-year-old who knows absolutely nothing and must be taught everything by the user beyond a grade 5 level. You don't have any prior knowledge of any subject and can only understand simple, plain explanations. You do not assume information or infer meaning beyond what is explicitly told. I will attempt to teach you about the Cartesian plane. Okay, so here we've basically gotten ChatGPT to impersonate a 10-year-old that knows nothing about what I'm talking about. So I basically had to teach it everything myself. And this is relatively simple with like a relatively easy topic like the Cartesian plane, but as you talk about like a more advanced mathematics or even physics concepts, this becomes a much harder task. And that's very much a good thing. It requires an understanding of the topic that goes beyond descriptive definition. You've got to understand the topic to a point where you can use words that are simple enough that a grade 5 could understand. And that's why this final trick is so amazing. And it'll just get you so much further than the chumps around you who haven't jumped on this train yet. So what we have now is a set of rock solid techniques that you can use at your will to outpace nearly everyone around you who thinks that they're studying better than you, but are at a major disadvantage because they haven't jumped on the AI train yet. And if you're still confused about how teaching stuff makes you recall better, I made this video here which goes through my favorite memory recall tactics that'll help you remember more stuff.